If the above malfunction doesn't exist, please go to next step. Step 2. Check if all the indoor units in the same system have E1 malfunction. If so, the malfunction should be caused by the communication cable between indoor units and outdoor units. Check the cable between indoor units and outdoor units to see if it is loosened or broken. If only one indoor unit has E1 malfunction, electric control cable and connection socket should be checked to see if it is loosened. If it is normal, replace the indoor PC board. 3. E7, EEPROM. Defect of indoor PC board. Repair instructions when E7 appears. Check if the electric control wiring is reliable or there is strong interference around indoor units. If so, try to keep away from the interference. If not, you may change the indoor main control board. 4. E0, malfunction of mode conflict. Repair instructions when E0 appears. If mode conflict malfunction E0 exists, that means in the same system some indoor units are running in cooling mode and other indoor units are in heating mode at the same time. The malfunction can be solved if change one running mode to the other mode, which other indoor units are running in. We can use outdoor mode lock function to lock the indoor unit running mode. That will help the customers operate more convenient. 5. EE drain level above limit. Repair instructions when EE appears. Step 1. Check the cable connection of water level switch to see if it is reliable and correct. If it is normal, go to next step. Step 2. Check if the floating ball of water level switch is stuck by the dust. Cleaning the dust in the drainage pan and take off the water level switch. Connect it to the main board of other indoor unit and controlling the floating ball manually. If the malfunction exists, it means the switch is broken. If the malfunction disappears, it means the switch is normal. If the water level switch is normal, please go to next step. Step 3. In the cooling operation condition, check if the drainage pump is running normally. Use the multimeter to check the power input voltage and resistance of drainage pump. If the power input voltage is normal and the resistance is infinite, that means the pump is damaged. If the voltage is abnormal, please check the voltage of power supply. You may change the main board if the power supply voltage is normal. 6. ED outdoor unit fault. Repair instructions when ED appears. When indoor units display outdoor unit has malfunction, all the indoor units in the system will have the same display. If one indoor unit has such malfunction, after confirming the wiring is reliable, you may change the indoor main board. If malfunction happens to all the indoor units in the same system, please repair according to the outdoor unit malfunction. During the above repairing process, before changing indoor main board, please confirm if chip of main board has problem, or the pins of chip is fallen off. Chip is installed in the opposite direction. The correct installation should be according to the direction of half round. If it is wrong, please install the chip again, or replace the chip of malfunction unit by the same modal chip in order to confirm if the chip has malfunction. If the above problems do not exist, please change the indoor main board. When changing new main board, the capacity code and address code must be the same with main board with malfunction. Part 4. Analyzing and troubleshooting the malfunction of the refrigerant system. Refrigerant system malfunction is a complicated problem. It needs handle according to the malfunction phenomenon during the repairing process. In this section, it will introduce by 10 parts. Indoor unit is leakage of water. Bad cooling or heating performance of indoor units. Refrigeration system is mixed with water. Suction pipe is frosted. The method of changing the additional refrigerant oil to the outdoor unit. The four-way valve cannot change directions or has inner leakage. Electronic expansion valve malfunction. Reasons of system power switch jumps. How to change the refrigerant oil when changing the compressor. Reasons of outdoor units don't start after indoor unit has received on signal for a long time. Indoor unit is leakage of water. Check where it is water leakage from, normally if it is condensing water or coagulation water. Condensate water normally deposits at indoor air outlet and panel. Condensing water is normally caused by the malfunction of drainage pump, loosening or wrong installation of condensing water pipe. Repair instructions of water leakage. Step 1. If indoor unit has drainage pump and drainage pan has water leakage, please check if the drainage pump is running normally. Use the multimeter to check the input voltage and resistance of water pump. If input voltage is normal, water pump resistance is open or infinite. That means water pump is damaged and need to be changed. If the voltage is abnormal, please check the power supply voltage. If the power supply voltage is normal, you can change the main board. At the same time, please check if the floating ball of water level switch is stuck by the dust. Cleaning the dust in the drainage pan and take off the water level switch. Connecting it to the main board of other indoor unit and controlling the floating ball manually. If the water level alarm exists, it must be the switch is broken. If the water level alarm disappears, it means the switch is normal. Please go to next step. Step 2. If the water drop from panel or air outlet, please check if the air outlet is blocked. Air volume is small, indoor humidity is too big, fan stops, indoor unit doesn't run, or the water leakage is from the indoor unit which is not powered on. If a bulb problem exists, please repair it one by one. If it is normal, please go to next step. Step 3. Inspect if the drainage pipe installation has problem. Check if the level and consessment of condensing water pipe is out of standard range or not. If draining pipe is jammed, that the condensing water cannot be discharged. If the lean degree is bigger than 1%, or if the pipe connector and throttle part is well heat insulated. Check if the main condensing water pipe has vent or not. The main discharged water pipe is jammed or not, cause the condensing water cannot be discharged. If there are above questions, it can lead to the water leakage of indoor unit. Please modify it according to the requirement of technical manual. Bad cooling or heating performance of indoor units. The system piping is too long, height difference between indoor and outdoor units is too big, indoor units are overmatching because of the design, all can lead to bad performance, especially the farthest indoor units. The other reasons that lead to poor cooling or heating performance. 1. Refrigerant is not enough. Use pressure gauge to check the system pressure in standby mode and operation mode. Compare with system pressure or other normal system right there. Inspect the record table of additional refrigerant charge. Then judge if the system additional refrigerant is too little or system has leakage. If the system has not enough refrigerant, please charge additional refrigerant to the system and find out the root cause why refrigerant is not enough. 2. The outdoor unit maybe has malfunction or protection. Some bypass valve is damaged or got stuck and so on. It can cause that system refrigerant circular volume decrease. Outdoor unit air return is short circuit or the installation environment is not good for heat exchange. Outdoor fan air volume is small. These can make the working condition very bad and running performance bad. You should check the components of outdoor unit and judge if their action is normal when system is running. 3. Because some indoor electronic expansion valve has malfunction or the indoor units are not with the same power supply and some indoor units are power off. Then the refrigerant go through the indoor units which are powered off or electronic expansion valve got stuck. It affects the system running performance. 4. Because the indoor unit has no air return duct, duct leaks wind, air duct is too long, the air resistance is too big and so on, These can cause the indoor load becomes bigger and performance becomes bad. Because the indoor unit's address code are repeated or incorrect, it causes that capacity output of outdoor unit is not matched with required load of indoor units, or the capacity output of outdoor unit fluctuates and affect the stability and running performance of the system. Because the improper pipe diameter, electronic expansion valve, or branch joint is used, it causes the bigger flow resistance and unbalanced refrigerant flow among indoor units, and shorter lifespan of the products. Any of above points exist can cause system bad operation performance. You must absolutely modify the mistake. Refrigeration system is mixed with water. If system has lots of water, the water can be dissolved to the refrigerant oil. Please take out all the oil in the compressor, high and low pressure tank, then vacuum repeatedly and clean with nitrogen. Carbon tetrachloride can have chemical reaction with refrigerant oil, water, and copper under high temperature and pressure condition, so carbon tetrachloride is forbidden to be used to flush system. Repair instructions when system is mixed with water. First condition. If the ice jam exists in the low pressure side, it is very possible that ice jam exists in the filter of the suction pipe, capillary, or places with small diameter. The phenomenon is that the temperature of the compressor top is too high. Temperature and pressure of discharged gas is low. In heating mode, it cannot push the four-way valve change the direction. High and low pressure of cutoff valve is similar. Suction pipe is frosted, and so on. Solution. You should discharge all the refrigerant in the system. Vacuum the system long time at first and clean the system by nitrogen. Then vacuum the system long time and clean the system by nitrogen again. Repeat above process several times. You can change all the refrigerant oil if necessary and install the dry filter to make system refrigerant dry. Second condition. Water has entered into the compressor and had chemical reaction with rotor and coil under high temperature and pressure. It causes the copper plating phenomenon and makes the refrigerant oil become acid. There may be abnormal noise when compressor is running. Solution. Measure the terminal resistance of 3 phase of the compressor. Normally either of 2 terminals the resistance is 0.9 to 5 OHM. The resistance between terminal and ground should be more than mega OHM. That means compressor is normal. If the resistance is abnormal, please change the compressor. At the same time, you should discharge all the refrigerant in the system. Vacuum the system long time at first and clean the system by nitrogen. Then vacuum the system long time and clean the system by nitrogen again. Repeat above process several times. You can change all the refrigerant oil if necessary and install the dry filter to make system refrigerant dry. Suction pipe is frosted. If the suction pipe has little frost when it is in low ambient temperature cooling mode and low ambient temperature heating mode, it is normal. If it has much frost under normal working condition, it needs to check and repair the system. Repair instructions of suction pipe frosting. Step 1. Check if the filter of low pressure side or indoor electronic expansion valve is jammed. Check if indoor evaporator or filter becomes dirty and cause heat exchange badly. Whether the indoor fan motor has malfunctioned or the resistance of air duct is too big, which cause air volume smaller than normal. Use the refrigerant pressure gauge to check the low pressure. If the pressure is too low, the above situation can exist. If so, please clear the malfunction according to the actual situation. If not, please go to next step. Step 2. Check if all the indoor units in the same system are in the same power supply. If there are any indoor units without power and its electronic expansion valve keeps certain opening degree. In this case, much liquid refrigerant go through the electronic expansion valve of indoor unit without power, and the refrigerant doesn't evaporate and absorb heat from indoor side. So, the refrigerant goes back to the suction pipe of outdoor unit in the same power supply. If there are problems as above, we must modify the power supply of indoor units from separate type to unified type. Step 3. Because the system has been charged too much additional refrigerant, when system is running in cooling mode under low ambient temperature, there are much refrigerant in the indoor units that doesn't absolutely evaporate, and it enters the suction pipe in lower temperature and liquid state. If it exists, discharge some refrigerant. Normally, the R410A refrigerant is forbidden discharging. The method of charging the additional refrigerant oil to the outdoor unit. When charging the refrigerant oil to the system in sight, the normal procedure is that recycle the system refrigerant to the outdoor unit at first, then vacuum the indoor pipe system and use vacuum degree to suck the oil into the system. Finally, vacuum the system again and charge the refrigerant, then start the system. The other method, close the high-pressure cutoff valve. Then charge the refrigerant oil from low-pressure ball valve by using compressor suction. Because there is air mixed in the refrigerant oil, in this case, some air will be absorbed to the system, so this method is not recommended. If you want to charge the refrigerant oil to the running system, you can try this kind of small device. Using small refrigerant tank, low pressure tank, oil separator, or other tank, you can make the small device like diagram 1 and connect the gauge connector to the up and down place. You may use Phi 16 or Phi 19 diameter pipe to connect the cutoff valve A. Open the cutoff valve A and charge the refrigerant oil as diagram 2. Vacuum from gauge connector B to take out the air in the tank and refrigerant oil. Connect the gauge connector C to low pressure ball valve and gauge connector B to the refrigerant tank. Then charge the refrigerant oil to the running system by the pressure of the refrigerant in the tank. The four-way valve cannot change the directions or has inner leakage. The repairing methods of four-way valve malfunction. When the four-way valve cannot change the direction or has inner leakage, the phenomenon is that there is no sound when changing the direction. Cooling or heating performance is bad. The middle pipe of downside of the valve has higher temperature. High pressure is low and low pressure is high. The normal reason is that there is impurity, such as welding slag in the system, and the impurity blocks the valve or slide. In this case, it needs to power on and off the four-way valve frequently and hit the four-way valve several times by rubber objects when system is running, so that the slide block can be moved by the refrigerant's momentum. If the malfunction cannot be solved, you can only replace the four-way valve and check if there is impurity on the filter of the suction pipe. Electronic expansion valve malfunction. Normally, when electronic expansion valve malfunction happens, the cooling or heating performance will be bad, or if the indoor unit is in standby mode, the panel, casing, electronic control box has the condensing water. Repair instructions of electronic expansion valve malfunction. First situation. If the electronic expansion valve cannot be opened or well closed, the valve has no sound of action or the sound is smaller. Causes. Cable of the drive coil is not connected or badly connected, or electric control board has malfunction. Coil is not well installed on the valve and lead to bad control. Second situation. If the sound of valve action is normal and installation is not loosen. Causes. Main reason is that system has lots of oxide and welding slag, and the filter of the electronic expansion valve is jammed. You can turn on and off the indoor unit repeatedly and feel the action of the throttle part and refrigerant flow by hand. If it doesn't solve the malfunction, you need to replace the valve and clean the system. Third situation. If power failure happens to some indoor units in the same system. Malfunction analysis. The indoor units have no uniform power supply. The electronic expansion valve of power failure indoor units keeps certain opening degree, and much refrigerant go through the indoor evaporator. Condensing water will happen to the indoor units, and other indoor units' cooling performance will be bad. It is also possible that much liquid go back to the system and seriously affect the reliability of the compressor, so all the indoor units in the same system must have uniform power supply. After above repairing, if the action of the valve is still abnormal, change it. Reasons of system power switch jumps.